Hi guys, Nathan here with the ebookreader.com. So for this video, I've got a comparison review between the Likebook Muses on the left and the Onyx Boox Nova Pro on the right. So the interesting thing about these two devices is they're like 90% the same, a lot of overlapping features. They both have Wacom touchscreens, come with the exact same stylus. So one of the main differences with the Onyx Boox Nova Pro is it has that flush glass screen. Everything's on the same level, whereas with the Likebook Muses, you got the indented screen. But they both have the same 300 ppi, 7.8-inch ink screen. They both have 32 gigabytes of storage space. The Onyx has the plastic back casing. It's got the power button on top, USB-C port on the bottom, no memory card slot, and then you got the back button below the screen, and if you hold it down, it'll turn the front light on and off. Then with the Likebook Muses, it has the back button below the screen as well. If you hold it, it'll take you to the home screen. On the bottom edge, you got the USB-C port, power button. Then on the back, it does have a couple of speakers and a mic as well. And then it has this metal back on it, like this metal aluminum plate. A little bit nicer, kind of like the Remarkable in that regard. They both weigh about the same. The Likebook's a little bit heavier, about 15 grams heavier. They both have 2 gigabytes of RAM. Let's talk about the front lights now. So they both have the option for warm and cool front lights. With the Onyx here, you've got this little slider here where you can choose between the cool and the warm light. You can mix the two lights, or you can just turn on one or the other. And then it also has the syncing option, so it'll sync the color setting with both of them, so you get kind of a mix of the warm and the cool light. So the buoy has sort of a similar thing here. You have to access it from the top menu here with the cool light, and then you can switch between the cool and the orange. By default, it doesn't have a way to mix the lights like you do on the Nova, but you can install this app they have in their app store. It's like this tool. It's written in Chinese, so it's kind of hard to tell, but you can mix the two lights with those. So here's kind of a look at the front light towards the top of the spectrum with both of them. It has a similar color, and then you got the orange color. It's kind of similar as well. This is what I was talking about. They got this tool in their app store where you can use to blend the lights. Obviously, it's written in Chinese, so I don't know exactly what it's saying here, but overall, I'd say the front light's just a little bit better on the Nova Pro. It's a little bit more uniform. There are some subtle hot spots, but with the Likebook, it's noticeably brighter at the bottom of the screen, especially when you're using the white light and you have it in a darker room. You can tell that it's quite a bit lighter at the bottom of the screen. Here's a quick look at the benchmark scores for both of these devices. They're both very similar. The Likebook has the octa-core processor and the Onyx has a quad-core processor, but the performance is very similar overall. I'd say the Onyx is actually a little bit faster for most things. They both run Android 6.0. Both have the option to add Google Play on here, though you got to go through some extra steps to get it working because it's obviously not meant for e-ink devices. But you can get it working on both of these. I decided I'd rather just use a different app store like APK Pure because I don't have any paid apps I want on here anyway. So here's the home screen for both of these. With the Onyx, it just defaults to your library view. Then you have this list of these different sections over here. The shop is in Chinese, so I disabled it. With the Likebook, you have the different sections along the top. So you both got your app drawer, you both got the notes section, the library view. So a very similar layout overall. They both have like a quick settings menu up here where you can adjust the volume. I mean, that's only for like Bluetooth speakers with the Nova Pro. They both can connect Bluetooth speakers. The Likebook does have those speakers on the back you can use, although they do sound absolutely dreadful. Both got the recent apps list, the A2 mode, so you can if you want to speed things up here, the screen doesn't fully refresh when you're using A2 mode, but things are a bit faster. Like it comes in handy for like scrolling at certain times. But overall, it's really not that useful. The library view is similar on both of these. You can use the list view as well. You can also, like if you long press on a title, you can set a different program to open with. Like if you wanted to use a different reading app like Co-Reader or something, you can set to open that by default. When it comes to the built-in reading apps, the Onyx's app is much better. There's some issues with the app on the Likebook. It doesn't really respect traditional EPUB standards. They're just sort of like making it up as they go along for some reason. If you look closely, you can see like the spacing is really odd, especially when you're using larger font sizes like this. It does weird things with punctuation, like it'll put like an apostrophe S on the next line. I've seen a period like move to the next page, has no idea what it's doing with punctuation, whereas the Onyx, it's a lot more traditional with the way it handles layout. They both have a lot of settings as far as the font and layout goes. You can add custom fonts to both of these just by adding a fonts folder on the root directory. So you can control the font size by doing pinch zooming, and you've got the menu in here. So this is the latest 2.1 update with the Onyx Nova Pro, and they changed things around on here from previous devices. But you got the same sort of settings. You can still adjust the bold of the text. You got the image and text contrast separately. The Likebook has the bold setting too, but to me it's just way too bold. But you can kind of fine tune it with the contrast setting right here if you just want to get a little bit bolder. So they both have that similar contrast setting where you can adjust the text and the images separately. There's a lot of overlapping features between the two. You got the table of contents, so the Onyx has a little pop-up there, whereas the Likebook will take you to a full list, and you've got your notes, anything you've added for bookmarks or underlines, as they call them, instead of highlights. Same kind of thing here with the Onyx. You got the different sections, show your scribbles and stuff. So another thing with the Onyx's software is they have the option to use the side note. So you can have the side note. It'll switch it over to landscape mode. I don't know why the text didn't switch here, but scrolling, okay, well, it's working right now. But you can also have the side note to the right side or the left side. You can write notes associated with your ebook. So that's a different feature for the Onyx devices. Both have the usual dictionary, notes, highlights. If you hold down on a word, the dictionary, I think they both use Star Dictionary. It does work a little better on the Onyx by default because it actually gives you a definition where the Likebook does not. You'd have to add some different dictionary into the dictionary app. As you can see, page turn speeds basically identical between these two devices. You can use the fast page turn mode on the Likebook, but it just results in more ghosting. So the regular refresh mode is basically the same difference. Another thing with the Onyx, they add this multi-page view, so you can view multiple pages at once. You got the 4 or the 9-page spread. The Likebook software doesn't have anything like that. The Onyx also has text-to-speech, so while it doesn't have a speaker, you can use the Bluetooth to connect to speakers or headphones and listen to text-to-speech. The Onyx app doesn't, or the Likebook app doesn't have any text-to-speech at all. Another thing with the Onyx is you got the tab document view. So, I mean, overall, the Onyx software is just more refined. They've been working at it longer. You got more features as far as the built-in app goes. I mean, if you only want to use third-party apps, then it doesn't really matter to you. But as far as the built-in ebook app goes, Onyx definitely gets the win here. So let's talk about the Note app now. So they're both very similar once again. One of the things I really like about the Onyx, though, once again, it's got more features. You've got the ability to sync on Dropbox. You know, they added OneNote on here a while back, Evernote. So it'll actually automatically sync your notes to there if you want. The Likebook, it doesn't have the auto sync, but you can export them. I think you can export them to Evernote. I don't have an Evernote account. You can also export as PNG or PDF files. So again, a little more features on the Onyx. You also got the multiple colored lines, which obviously aren't going to show up on the device or the black and white screen, but when you export it, you'll have the blue, the red colors if you want to use those. They both got the different line settings, very similar setup there. They both got the pressure-sensitive pen, the non-pressure sensitive pen. They both use the Wacom touchscreen. Like I said, it's the exact same stylus, virtually exact same performance. There's really no edge here. One thing I really like about the eraser function on the Onyx, though, is it'll erase the full stroke. Whereas on the Likebook, it doesn't have the stroke erase, oddly here, but it has it for PDFs. So it's just a lot more literal with your erasing. And then you have to have the eraser selected. It has this button on the stylus if you want to erase with the tip. Whereas with the Onyx, you can just erase with the tip anytime by holding the button, where with the Likebook, you have to actually be selected on the eraser first. The Onyx also has the shapes. You know, you can draw some shapes. Has this cool hand recognition feature where it'll take your handwritten notes, convert them to type text. They advertise that on the Likebook's product page, but it does not have it anywhere, so I don't know what they're talking about. You've also got the multi-page view on both of these. Again, a lot of the features are overlapping. It's like Bowie basically copied Onyx in a lot of ways because Onyx did this stuff first. It's like the exact same look up here as far as their page numbers go. Very similar. You've also got the different templates included. One thing with the Onyx is you can add some different templates. I don't know of a way to add any templates to the Likebook. There doesn't seem to be any obvious way to do so. Another thing with the Onyx, if you hold down here, you can easily rename your note. You can also jump through different notes from that section as well. Another thing the Nova Pro has is the search. So you can actually search through your handwritten notes, and it will go through and highlight them. So if you're looking for something you wrote down, it's easy to find that way. When it comes to the PDF app, they've added a lot of features on the Likebook, so it's getting closer to the Onyx. But again, you got some more features with the Onyx. And like when it comes to the handwriting, there's some limitations with the Likebook that there aren't with the Onyx Nova Pro. So like when you're zoomed in with certain zoom levels, you can't use the stylus with the Likebook, where they don't care with the Onyx. You can zoom in and use the stylus whenever. Again, page turns virtually identical. Not much difference as far as the speed and performance goes. Here's a quick look at the web browser. Just kind of illustrates again, Onyx's software is a little more optimized. Like when you're using a search on the Likebook, it's all blacked out. You can't even see results. Like when you're using the top bar there. Scrolling's a little better on the Onyx, as you can see on the Likebook. You've got background images that never fully refreshes, where it's a lot smoother on the Onyx. And then you've also got this little icon in the lower screen of the Onyx where you can go full screen mode. You can increase, decrease the font size. So it's just a little bit more thought out for the e-ink screen. Works just a little bit better. I mean, still functional on the Likebook, but they've had a little bit more time to refine the software on the Onyx. They've been working at it longer than Likebook has. So overall, I mean, most of the advantages go to the Nova Pro. The Likebook does have a couple advantages in the fact that the contrast on the screen just looks a little bit clearer when you're looking at it close up. Also, the touchscreen responsiveness is just a little bit better on the Likebook. Maybe it's just the glass layer on the Nova Pro. Sometimes I have to tap things twice or tap a little bit harder. It doesn't really always recognize the subtle taps. Here's a look at the screens with the front light off on both of them. The background color on the Likebook looks a little bit darker, but like I said, something about the text just a little bit clearer without the added glass layer that the Nova Pro has. But I mean, they're both very similar overall when you got the front lights on. Both of the screens do look quite good. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. It's already getting really long. Didn't cover everything I wanted to cover, but check out the full reviews of both of these devices. Thank you guys for watching.